This is not the only time we have had some candidates saying they will go for only one term. Either they never got to do so, or in fact they change their mind. Let's not forget, the late President Buhari, in the build-up to the 2015 election, at some point has said he would go for one term. This did not happen. So the one-term issue is not a constitutional requirement, and you cannot hold anybody responsible for that. And again, to me, it's kind of crass. If, for example, a candidate wins, hypothetically, Peter Obi, and he does very well, and he appeals to the electorate, does it mean that when it's time for the second term, so to speak, he would not contest because he had promised something that is not constitutional? To me, the one-term idea is just a campaign issue being thrown about by politicians, and I think it's an act of desperation.
Right now, Nigerians are not really concerned if Peter Obi is lying or is using political strategy just to get into power. What matters most to the average Nigerian today is good governance. People are tired, they just want change. But this one-time promise from Peter Obi, it's been causing a lot of serious controversy online. Some people now see it as a desperate move, and honestly, it's shaking the belief of some people who once trusted him. But let's pause for a second. Even if this one-time foul is a political strategy, some Nigerians still believe that it's better than bringing back the same people that have failed us. One person even said in my last video that even if Peter Obi is lying, let him lie and enter. At least we might get something different from what we have now. And to be fair, they have points. We are at the stage in this country where even the right person can't afford to be a sheep in the middle of the snakes. Sometimes you need to be sharp to survive the game. And if it takes strategy to bring change, I don't think that's really a bad thing. But here is where it gets more interesting. The PDP is now talking about Goodluck Jonathan. Yes, Goodluck Jonathan. The argument is that he only has one constitutional time left, so it's a safer bet. Now, this brings us to the recent interview on AriseTV. Professor Mohammed Baba, spokesman for the Arewa Consultative Forum, had a lot to say. According to him, Jonathan looked attractive now on the surface. He is calm, quiet, and respected internationally. But he also warned Nigerians that unless Jonathan shows he has truly changed, he is no different from who he was before. At the same time, he called Peter Obi one-time promise a clear act of desperation. So now here we are. On one hand, we have Obi promising one time to gain trust. On the other hand, Jonathan returning with only one time left by law. So two different men with the same goal of power. But here's what some Nigerians are now saying. If Peter Obi is desperate, at least he's desperate to change things. Jonathan had his chance, he should rest. Others are saying, let Jonathan come back and finish what he started. He is the safest option now. The truth is, Nigeria are now divided. Everyone wants change, but no one agrees on who should lead it. So here is my question. Who do you believe can fix Nigeria in 2027? Peter Obi or Goodluck Jonathan? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you are thinking about this present issue. And what do you think about what Mohammed Baba has said in this video? And most importantly, know that your subscription is very important for this channel. Please do well to subscribe and don't forget to like and share. Take a listen.
At a point in time like this, and some people are saying the North will favor it. I'm like, if the North will favor it, hypothetically, I'm not saying the North will favor it because some people are saying the North will favor it, but if they favor it, what is it now that all of a sudden they see in Jonathan now that they didn't see in 2015?
Well, the most immediate is because whether we like it or not, the campaign has started. Two, whether we like it or not, politicians on all sides, I think, in my opinion, are desperate. Desperate for the right team, desperate to appeal to the voter, desperate for relevance, and so on. So it's not new. We have seen this kind of movements before in other elections, all kinds of permutations, all kinds of combinations. What is probably surprising is to say the North will support this or the South will support that and so on. These are all speculations. What we do know is that all the political actors or the major political actors are in this race, and everyone wants to sell their point of view and so on. Whether or not this will pan out, I think it's speculative. When you say the North, the North, the North, when you say the South, we are not talking of the people. I think we are talking of the politicians and their desire to win elections and so on. But certainly it's interesting to see the extent all parties are going to pull support to bring whoever they think is a heavyweight, quote unquote. So these are interesting times, but we wait to see. I personally think it's a long way to 2027, but of course, desperation is pushing a lot of people into all kinds of combinations and choices.
I'm glad you reiterated the fact that we have a long way to go until 2027, but unfortunately, these are the conversations that are happening as politicians continue to strategize behind the scenes. Now, one major conversation that's happening is the issue of the one term, serving 4 years, of which Peter Obi has come out and made a vow with the people and made a promise that he would only serve one term. So some people are saying that, well, Goodluck Jonathan is preferable because he's only entitled to one term constitutionally. Do you think that this gives Goodluck Jonathan a competitive edge in terms of becoming more appealing to those in the North who feel that in 2031 the rotation must be respected and brought back to the North? So, sir, let me just make my sorry, sir, if I may just make my question clear. Why would Goodluck Jonathan be attractive to the North?
I don't know whether he is attractive or he is not. I think these are permutations and campaign being pushed by politicians. I don't know if Goodluck Jonathan will be attractive to anybody, except if he comes out and says exactly what they have for the country, and will wait for the voters to see if that is true. But so far, I think most people are just speculating on whether which part of Nigeria will support which candidate or not. Well, Goodluck Jonathan, on the surface of it, is attractive. Why? Because over time, and especially since 2015, he has accumulated a number of positives. One, he gave up when he thought he lost the election quietly, and he had been living a quiet life, enjoying international recognition, being sent on missions overseas, and so on. And of course, some of the baggage he carried on to 2015, all people thought he was clueless and so on. The development since 2015 seemed to favor him, and so on. So he looks attractive, but I think there is still a long way to go for him to sell himself. Let's not also forget that in the build up to 2023, there were wide speculations that the APC was wooing Goodluck Jonathan to bring him into the fray, to stand for election as if he was, quote unquote, forgiven by the same APC that vilified him. In the long run, it did not work out. In the long run, he did not come out openly to say, yeah, he was interested in the position and so on. But, you know, Goodluck Jonathan will be a candidate, but of course he needs to do a lot more to sell himself, to offer himself as an alternative, to show that he's now different from the Goodluck Jonathan we knew, whether as a person or circumstances have turned out that some of the criticisms against him were simply political and so on. Well, anybody could be a candidate, but I think given the circumstances right now in the country, the difficulties people are facing, the challenging economic conditions, it will take a lot more for a politician, whether they are from the south, the north, or from the moon, to convince themselves, to convince the electorate that they are different, or that they offer a new alternative.
But Prof,
yes,
he stands in that unique situation that he's the only one who only has one constitutional term allowed to him, except, of course, for the incumbent who also has one term. Is this not something that gets people excited? Because you know that no matter what, he has to go. Unlike Peter Obi, for example, who, you know, due to public demand at the time, may say, well, the people have said I should continue. Is this not a juicy and attractive offer?
Not to me. Let's get this clear. The one-term hubris that is being propounded is not a constitutional requirement. This is not the only time we have had some candidates saying they will go for only one term. Either they never got to do so, or in fact they change their mind. Let's not forget, the late President Buhari, in the build-up to the 2015 election, at some point has said he would go for one term. This did not happen. So the one-term issue is not a constitutional requirement, and you cannot hold anybody responsible for that. And again, to me, it's kind of crass. If, for example, a candidate wins, hypothetically, Peter Obi, and he does very well, and he appeals to the electorate, does it mean that when it's time for the second term, so to speak, he would not contest because he had promised something that is not constitutional? To me, the one-term idea is just a campaign issue being thrown about by politicians, and I think it's an act of desperation. But I think the electorate should be allowed to decide whether a candidate can go for a second term or not. And I think it will be robbing the nation the benefit of selecting a person that they think has served well and will do well and so on. So that leaves us should change. So let's get this clear. The one-time thing is just being thrown about because politicians think that is what the electorate in the north, in the south, or anywhere would like to hear. But I am personally very skeptical about it, and I look at it as just a campaign issue that, well, nobody can listen. Even Atiku Abubakar at some point, I think leading up to 2015, had promised he would work for one term and then help other regions of the country to do. Let's face this in. These are just manipulations of opinions, manipulations of sentiments by politicians, and they're whipping up to sway the electorate to their side. To me, I don't give it any serious consideration. This is just a campaign gimmick.